Good morning and welcome to Tech Talks. Today I have Bisola, founder of Heels and Tech. Heels and Tech is a tech marketplace that is providing services for African women to get on with their lives. Bisola, welcome to Tech Talks. Thank you for coming.
Thank you. Thank you for inviting me.
And so Heels and that name, I have to ask, why Heels and Tech?
Okay, so Heels and Tech was actually created to solve a problem that I was experiencing.
Okay. This is why you were wearing heels or?
No. So I'm a mom of 3,
okay.
And at the time when I started, I was pregnant with my second child.
Okay.
And contrary to what everyone actually in Nigeria does, everybody wants to start their business. I wanted to get back to work.
Okay.
And for me to get back to work, it meant that I had to upskill. I had to be in a community of like-minded people. I had to be in a community whereby people who understood, where I was coming from could relate to me. I was pregnant. There's this thing called, pregnancy brain. A woman is saddled with, the responsibility of the family. And prior to that, I actually started my career in tech like about 10 years ago. Hotels NG, and then I moved to Oracle, right? So I'd worked with startups, and then I also worked in a multinational. So I understood the dynamics before, deciding that I wanted to focus on my family. So 2-3 years down the line, I wanted to get back to work. I searched for platforms like that. It did not exist. We had YouTube, we had Coursera, but it was like I was just speaking with the computer. I needed to know what was going on. At the time I left 2016, I knew digital transformation was the in thing back then. But I didn't know who to ask. So as everybody adopted digital transformation, have you guys moved on to newer things? The information was not out there, and tech was not mainstream. If you go to Twitter, what you get back then was just coding, tech bro. It was not really as exciting. I'd worked with...
It was like exclusive for men.
It was
own language.
Yes, it was boring. And I'd worked with tech, and to me, it was exciting. I never touched a line of code, right? Had seen products being built. I'd seen like a whole building dedicated, to supporting a particular product just for it. To excel. That was what I understood about technology, working in a multinational. So I was like, okay, you know what, I would, start upskilling and then just share my experience. So it was just me saying, oh, let me create a community for women who wanted to get back to work. Okay. So, right, just women like me who had kids. So I started doing short videos on Microsoft Excel, Microsoft Power BI, and then people are like, oh, you make this tech thing look interesting.
So I like that. So just simple tech, nothing mind-blowing.
No, because...
Just how to at least you use your Excel sheet to calculate your prepare yourself.
Exactly, because as a woman, we are burdened with so many things. There's no time. I wanted to get back to work. That was just the main goal. Don't bore me with different things, and let me just equip me, right? So when I build a chatbot, I'll just put it out on Instagram that, oh guys, I built this chatbot, although it was meant to be 30 minutes, but I had to sleep off, and people were like,
you tell the story. So let me ask a question. Do you in your, learning Excel for learning Excel, but do you give reasons why it's important to how to use this thing and practicalize it in your everyday life, very simple life?
Yes, that was exactly what I was doing. So for dashboard, for instance, I was just saying that for a Microsoft Power BI, for example, I was like, okay, so you have this data, how do you visualize it? Okay, you have this, you work with in eco markets, for instance. Do you know how many people bought your wigs, for instance? Do you have a staff that can help you document it and make it look attractive so that you can make business decisions, basically? So that was the angle that I was coming from, making tech look attractive to everybody. It was meaningful. It was not technical jargon. It was not Python or all those technical things that scare people off. And women experience what is called technophobia, right? So once they hear that tech thing, they just take off. They just switch off. But I'd experienced it, and I've seen that it's a great career path to follow, but I just wanted to get back to work and I needed to upskill. So, and then I realized that more women were in my case right? They had similar experiences. In fact, they had totally forgotten about themselves. They are just thrown themselves to family. They're like, oh, I've spent 10 years here. I don't even know what to do with my life. Do you think it's possible? And then suddenly the pandemic started and everybody had to work from home. And then began to see remote jobs. So I was like, oh, guys, you know what? I think it's time for you to take this seriously. They were like, oh, they wanted to do more. We had started with webinars. Then they wanted short courses. And we started with a business analyst who helps with documenting, your idea, your tech idea, and helping you along the way till it's fleshed out, right? And we did that. We introduced Salesforce, right? So Salesforce to me is a big deal because in Africa, they are not really dominant, but they are the biggest CRM in the entire world. And I didn't want my community members, to be ignorant, right? I wanted a situation whereby if you're in Canada, if you're in UK, if you're in the United States, you can take up this career and get into the industry. So that was the entire thing. For a long time, people didn't even know that we were in Nigeria, right? Because of the quality of the courses that we were pushing. They were not Nigerian focused. We're not Nigerian focused. So we had people from different countries. And as at the last time we checked, we've trained from 25 countries. That's from paid courses, right? The last was from China because we're just upskilling, right? And our free courses, we've seen like people from from 100 countries. And I'm surprised because this was something that a need that I wanted to fulfill for myself. And so we don't just focus on the stay-at-home mothers. We realized that people from the oil and gas wanted to upskill because maybe they were stuck with engineering jobs and wanted to just do something different. We had teachers, we had bankers who were doing operations, who were doing sales, and they're like, that IT department, I think I can be useful there. So they just kept upskilling.
Let me ask a question. For you to do this, of course, you wanted to do it for yourself, and then you were.
Yes.
How have you funded this? How did you
put it together?
How did you put it together? How did you fund it?
Funny enough,
how are you funding it? Are you creating awareness?
Funny enough, we started with 0 naira.
When you say we,
okay, I have a team now, but I started with 0 naira.
I like the we though, yeah.
Yes, I started with 0 naira, and we've still remained bootstrapped till now, and profitable. So how that started
what's team strength now?
We are 15.
So you've added to the Nigerian economy.
Oh yes, directly
taking 15 people off. Which is fantastic.
Yeah, directly and indirectly, because we've added a total of 20.5 million USD to the earnings of our women. Right, they are earning well. They are earning on 6 figures in the USD in Canada.
These are people that work with you.
No. Our students.
Our students.
Like when they come back, they're like, oh, they are in Amazon.
I'm really excited. I'm excited that you actually even know the numbers of the
because they come back. They come back to testify. We support them all through the journey. So that's the difference between us, and we are cohort based, right? So we teach live. We know our students. We know their strengths. We know they always come back. And I think women love community, right? They just want to be part of a community. We thrive in community. So we had to build the brand around community. Not just, watch this course and go and disappear and graduate. We follow up. They tell us about their strength, about whatever it is they're going through. The interview, do you want us to help you negotiate your salary? Do you want us to do this? Are you experiencing imposter syndrome? Of course, everybody does that, especially when you are in a new country where you want to excel. So we always do that. Or even if you want to go into a new career path, there's always that, are you sure I can do this? Women love to talk, and we have that platform where they can freely express themselves.
So it's a community, as you said, beyond just EdTech, but also
it's a community.
Sharing ideas.
Yes.
Okay, final question, because I could be here forever with you. This is such an exciting topic. But AI, how is that going to change your platform? How is it going to change it?
Okay.
How are you? Because there's a lot of talk of AI, ChatGPT. And so how are you helping people competent to that, demystifying it, remove the jargon around it? When people say, like you say, generative AI.
There's generative AI, but AI is not new.
Of course not.
AI is not new. And interestingly, we started with some chatbot projects for our students. So what happened was that we don't just train you, you work on a case study, on a project. So that's why our students are employable, right? So they work on a chatbot. We could look at Fidelity Bank, for instance, and say, oh, Fidelity Bank has like 1 million inquiries every day, or the normal fintech queries where you just see them on the DMs, or sorry, on Instagram, for instance. Whenever they post, all you see is the customer inquiries. How can you use chatbots to solve these problems? And we all come together to solve that problem. So that has been our approach since day one. But with generative AI, we are not going to tamper with the code base. That works for us. Okay. That's impactful. But other products that we are building, like we built the HT Pay, which is we are embedding fintech into it so that our students can take loans, okay, from the product, right? We are partnering with other brands who are offering all of this. So we are going to embed AI into it, and then other digital products that we are building. And I would like to talk about this book I just wrote for junior secondary school students. Okay. So it's called Jasmine Discovers Tech. We wrote it because most of the inquiries, whenever I want to onboard a student, the question is, can I do this? It's not even, I want to pay for this. It's, are you sure I can do this? You understand? So we actually realized that there is this fear that women experience. They just feel that they can't, this technology thing is not for them. It's a male-dominated industry. Okay. So we decided to catch them young by creating a story about a young girl, and we launched this on International Day of the Girl Child. Right. And we are doing an outreach. We started with ISL Lagos, that's International Lagos. We distributed over 100 copies, and then we'll be going around schools, to discuss with them, to see what's going on in the ICT department, how can we support them, and then also distribute the book, basically.
Mm-hmm. Fantastic. Jasmine Discovers Tech to help us overcome our fears.
Yeah, our fear of getting technology,
and leverage it, which is the future. Bisola, thank you for coming to Tech Talks, and we will continue the conversation offline.